Kill me, you bastards. Oh. Get a life, demonic signs, I swear. Hi, Tanya. Oh, I'm covering. Can you hear this? You want me to hear this? I'll play it on the other side. I'll reload it. Hi, Tanya. I'm going to try and reload it.
Finished with that, I guess I should get back and forgot the main thing. Eventually transferred over into policing. So do you want to explain how that transition occurred to get into the career that you're in right now?
So after serving for almost 12 years in the military, so in the military, you're kind of at their mercy. You know, you can get posted or moved around, and I was trying to get settled pretty good here in the Trenton area, Belleville area. So I decided to, going from defending my country to try to go and do it locally, help defend the people and protect them, serve and protect here in the local area. So I joined the OPP, got posted at the Prince Edward County Detachment, and yeah, so and obviously I had to do my oath as a police officer to serve and protect people, and which is something that every police officer has to do. And it's something now, and each kind of time that we're in is more important. We are you serve and protect, and you have the area, so you need to look at the county detachment. And it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think we should take a moment here and just so everybody understands the importance of this oath that every man and woman that takes law enforcement around the world, that is your guide. That is the light that you're supposed to follow always, that you're supposed to protect and serve the people. And that in and of itself right now is being completely destroyed because of this COVID narrative and people that are in service corporation positions at the highest level, like Canada or Ontario, they're using actually the police that are against their actual oath. Can you really tell the people how much the oath means to you and how important that is and how you carried yourself in your career?
Like you said, like we're here to protect and serve our fellow man and woman, and it's something that is dear to my heart because, like I said, the foundation where I grew up, with family being around the people, so that's basically what I'm doing at my work. You're trying to defend and help the people that are around you and your community. So, and right now we're being told to go and enforce these rules out of face of fear, basically pushing fear on the people and using us to use these acts and mandates and whatever they're pushing down to us to go and force it on the people. To me, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and this is why we need to bring this truth forward as the prelude to us in our interview here was being played. As I described, we really have 4 questions, right? 4 very simple questions. 3 of them address, obviously, the foundation and rooting of this corruption that's our world today on multiple levels. And the first questions is we've never had this conversation, Gabriel, with your mother and father when you were brought into this world. They were never given these foundational truths to pass on to you, the difference between legal and lawful. We're never taught the importance of why that is so important and that what happens when we're born of this unlawful conversion that happens in a hospital, and what has ultimately done is affected the consciousness of every man and woman out there in this world. Because I know there are great people like you. There's thousands of them, millions of them that are in law enforcement that went into this career to protect and serve. But everyone needs to understand one foundational truth. We've all been lied to. Okay, we've all been lied to of who we are and the difference between legal and lawful. And God bless you, you do the research like Nathan Lynchuk did, who I'm sure you're familiar with out in Saskatchewan there. There's a man that saw the 4 foundational knowledge videos, and he was very wonderful to hear him say, I didn't have to say anything to him, but he said, those 4 foundational videos, Chris, if everybody in the world would watch those, they're very short, they're very quick. He says, boy, would our world change overnight. And that's the main message we want to give the first one to everyone that's hearing this today in law enforcement. Go to warriorcalls.com and watch the 4 foundational knowledge videos. The foundational trespass that occurs against all of us, whether it's in Canada, the United States, it doesn't matter in the world. The same trespasses occurred against all of us. And once you understand that, then you understand what is going on and has been going on in public courthouses and why, through this COVID-19 variant that they've been, not variant, but this year that they've rolled out, all of it is coming together at a head right now to be able to root out this corruption properly. Because we'll just say it again now, there's 3 questions. The first question is, am I property? And this is the conversation we have with every man and woman. No man or woman is property of another man or woman. This is what people died in the Second World War for. We all know this. They gave their lives, millions of people, right, to ensure that we had the freedoms, the rights that we hold today. And those freedom and rights do not come from a piece of paper that a service corporation produces, such as Canada, called the Charter and Freedom of Rights. That's not where our rights lie. That is mainly for a guide, supposed to be for their agents and officers of those service corporations. Same with you within the OPP realm. You have been trained and taught that the Police Act, which is very powerful, which also ties in with the Charter and Freedom of Rights, that is your guide when you're acting in your role. So how I use this with Gabriel, how I can explain this simply to every other man and woman out there in law enforcement, is that when Gabriel puts on that outfit, when he goes into that role to protect and serve his fellow man and woman, you have duties and obligations, correct, Gabriel?
Yes.
Right. We all have duties and obligations when we're acting. The minute that we act in any role, doesn't matter if it's police, fire, baker, whatever you want to do, whenever you're acting in that role, you've got duties and obligations for that job description. And what is the one thing that you do not have when you're acting in that role, Gabriel? Rights. Right? Mm-hmm. Only a man or woman has rights. When you step out of that realm when you're acting, yes, you're back to rights again. It's no different than a man or woman that works for Coca-Cola and they've got their duties and obligations, say, as a security officer.
Are they going to come outside of their acting role within that service corporation with their duties and obligations and come out into the public and start applying what they're supposed to do on behalf of that service corporation? No, they can't do that. That's a trespass. And this is what the police worldwide, unfortunately, have been doing, because it comes down to 3 questions. The first one is, who claim my property? Man and woman, we are not property of each other. And then the only other thing that matters after that is that contract makes the law. So there's 2 other questions that come after that. Any man or woman that you engage with in this world, okay, if they're going to come forward and deal with you, then they have to either have a contract with you on the private side. For example, Gabriel here, I'll use you as the example. Do I have a contract with you on the private side? We just met a short while ago, but do you have a contract? No. Okay, do you have a contract when you're acting for the OPP that you can bring forward that I had signed with the OPP? No. So, just saying that, and I'm not your property, right, Gabriel? No. And you're not my property. So, if I'm engaging with Gabriel on the side of the road when he's acting in his role, where does Gabriel have jurisdiction? Right? That means control over the people. Remember, Gabriel's big on to protect and serve. That's what he's there to do. He's not there to intimidate, to enforce, to trespass against a man or a woman because of policy that a service corporation may write. And that's how simple this is. The law of our land comes from our Creator. Is the unwritten law. And that's why I'm so grateful that we're able to have this conversation right here, right now, at this moment, because it is paramount that everyone that's in law enforcement that puts their lives on the line realizes, first and foremost, you've been lied to, and secondly, you've never been given these foundational truths. Everybody can understand that. We're not property, and that contract makes the law, either in our private capacity or whatever capacity that man or woman's acting or representing on behalf of the service corporation, bring forward that contract. Otherwise, and with all due respect, because I think you know Gabriel and every other man and woman out there in policing, what is put pen to paper does not apply to me. You can read off codes, rules, statutes, acts. Somebody else created that documentation. That's not law, okay? And what does that all let you talk to, because you've done some research on this now? What do all these codes, rules, statutes apply to? There's a trick word called person, isn't there?
And
explain that a bit for everybody?
That's what I found out, when I found your website and everything else. And that's when my job, because I had no idea about the service corporation, the government of Canada's actual service corporation. And to me, like, a lot of this stuff is because our mind has completely, consciousness has been completely controlled by everything that we know. Everything that we know is all based out of that legal stuff. Everything for us, when we charge someone, the first thing that says right now, it's always a person. A person is part of the legal system, which is the corporation. And we're just saying, we're born here. We're not born attached to nothing. And with that birth certificate, it's attaching us right away to that service corporation. We belong to them right away. And I had no idea. And, like people that are watching this, or some of the officers that may be watching, heard of this, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? But you have
it's very simple. It's very simple too, isn't it, Gabriel? That it comes down to he who creates owns. So did you create the birth certificate? Did I create that birth certificate? No, that was documentation that was created when we were only moments old, lying in a bed that our parents got, that were filling out documentation in the hospital, believing that they were simply putting on the record, right, that they're bringing this wonderful child into this world. That's all that they believed that was happening at that time. But what is actually occurring is that in that moment there's an unlawful conversion. And from a man or woman, when you come into this world, as you said a minute ago, we come into this world with no paper attached to us. We're free. And we know the difference between right and wrong. That is the common law. That is the unwritten law, which, again, the Service Corporation of Canada, the first line they have written in that Charter of Rights. So we always ask, we go to, well, who wrote that Charter of Freedom of Rights? You hear all these lawyers that are all referring to that. This is what you have to do to go into court, to stand your ground and to win a case, because you pointed that they're breaching the Charter of Freedom of Rights. No. The Charter of Freedom of Rights is no different if McDonald's employees there wrote something up, and then you're going to go to McDonald's and fight into their agents and officers, and you're going to use their own documentation against them. It's ridiculous. Words on a piece of paper, they are unalienable. They came to us from the moment that we were born, and these with us without our consent or contract for the moment that we die. Right? It's very important that police understand the simplicity, because you're tied very, very much into that Police Services Act, which is also tied to the Charter of Freedom of Rights. And it's all operating in that person, in that legal realm. And police that are out there that are listening, legal only applies to that which is incorporated. There's a corporation that's created every second when a child is born in this world today. And that's what the birth certificate represents. That when you see capital letters, that's capitis diminutio. That through the use of capitalization, this is Roman law. It's written in all the law books. Through the use of capitalization, it diminishes the capacity of a man. To what? To that of a person. And that's why we talked about Job 32:21. Right? In the Bible it says, let no man place persons upon you, nor are you supposed to accept any titles. So to make this for law enforcement, people and yourself, when this light went on, you guys are there to protect and serve. That oath means everything to you. So the only time that you're supposed to be engaging with another man or woman is if they're breaching the peace, right? If they're causing wrong harm to somebody, or there's a verified claim that another man or woman's come forward and saying, hey, Gabriel, Christopher here punched me, or Christopher broke my car, or Christopher did something damage to my property. Trespass. That's why I'll use that word. And unless those two things exist, then with respect, Gabriel, when he's acting as a policeman, OPP officer, he has no business coming into my life other than to say, hey, Chris, how you doing? Having a good day, this and that. But unfortunately, because this foundational truth has not been there, they've been all indoctrinated into this legal realm, and you're pointing to codes, rules, and statutes and sections, all these things that have been written. That's where the rubber hits the road for the police to understand why we're saying no accountability. Because how many judges have you ever seen arrested in Canada, Gabriel, or senior police that you know there's corruption going on, or politicians?
I don't remember any right now. So.
Yeah, it's a very short window. So that's why everyone needs to understand those three questions. When you engage with a police officer or anybody, if they're trying to impose or place something on you like we're seeing today, this trespass that's going with all documentation surrounding COVID.
Really? I just had this demonic comment by you demon perpetrators. Really? Bill Mitchell, a perpetrator. This channel is dead, and this is the terminology threat. Dead. With MK Ultra Tarkish program. You're making 6-hour vids, so what? Implies with zero content to love. You clearly got a problem with prescription medication Want to make an assumptions about my private life, are you? You don't know anything about me. You sound like an absolute cabbage. Really? What's your intention? Back it up with first-hand evidence. I've got to rebut the presumption of a gaslighter on a channel online. And here we go. You're slating NWA, but taking medication. Where's your evidence I'm taking medication? What type of medication? You unknown individual. Make an presumption. What is it? The demons inside you. You're making comments and making the effort. Oh look, Freemasons are joining in. I'll report this for harassment. Before I do, I'll read the rest of the comment. And then implies you should get help and get off the tablets. Really? What about you perpetrator demon? You'll be cast in the pit of hell, because I have protection of my Lord, my Saviour, and and what channel was it on? 14 hours ago. End times, demon order. Yeah, I was true. Took and that perpetrator made a comment. So he shall be reported. Told you I've been watched by the demonic entities of this globalist agenda, demonic. So demonically. And the technology behind this as well. Yeah, you see, monitor 24 hours a day. Nappy head roots. He doesn't get hurt. He's in America though, you see. Call me Nappy Target Individual Broadcast. He's in America, so you want to single me out, do you, in America? Oh, sorry, in England. Well, 'cause I mentioned the demons, you see. But Mo's joined his living with zombies in the same home. Mo's always going in. He gives up his period and he goes in there, right? How come he doesn't get hacked so bad like I do? Yeah? Why don't you bloody demons go to hell? See all those in his chat? And see what they did to me? Who do you think is getting the facts out? See what they did to Guys stalking. Yeah? See how Mo responds. True, UK. He can't address me respectfully. He doesn't want to acknowledge me. He knows who I am. And he means well living out of a car. But he doesn't cover the subjects I do. So he doesn't get attacked like I do. And when you cover the important subjects mixed with this targeting program, this is what goes on. To make the difference is getting the facts out. This is it is all spiritual. So I'll go back to broadcast. Be careful with this as well, okay? Just be careful. Just be careful of the public servants. Right, I'll go back to where I was. Covering that broadcast. What dickheads? What bloody dickheads? Well, demonically anyway. Point up to do the audio. I'm doing the audio.
So is that, again, on the trespass property, actually, you're not your right to be here. You can't just take your private and I understand. And if you want to research yourself, that's fine. And actually, it's a nice thing. Where's the law? Where's the law? I know. Come on, that's my job. I know my job is very important. You have kids? You know what? You are. You're here. You guys just raised someone. What's on? Because kids, what do you mean for that? What is it? People. The information we have is that people were surrounded. So what's the crime? What is the crime? Over there. The guy's way over there. What's the crime here? Can you see the crime we're going now? That's not a crime. It's not a crime, sorry. It's not a crime, right? But it's not a crime. And we're not just asking. You Alfred, my son, over. I go over there, my son, he's 10 years old. You tell 10-year-old, he's 10 years old. I'm glad you're going to go get a 10-year-old to tell him to get out of here. You're the one in charge. Where you're probably got a half an hour, 5 minutes left, and then we're going to go. Naturally. That's just over. So, what would you think would happen if you went into the we can't get into city hall. All the cowards, yeah, they don't have all their own guys. All dogs and hypothetical. I don't follow either. I'm living with this for a year. I know. So am I. On my days off, I'm this for a year. I follow the same rules that all of you have to do. No, you don't. Why are we to discretion? Yes. Your word discretion for police officer is your nasty. It's just to wake up to it.
What's up, body language?
You know, all the information. We on your side. How many years you guys want to live like this? Listen, on your side. You have to be on our side. How many more years are you willing to spend on that? You guys can walk out. It's lucky, man. You're not going to have that ability. We're just not leaving. 30 to 45 minutes, regardless of how much you say or what is going to happen. Touching anybody is not an option for anybody to say. Okay, so we're going to do this match. We're going to play. We're going to play, and then we're going to go. Make them know. So, you keep saying that it's not right. Yeah. So what do you do for a living, Eli? Cool. Okay, what do you do for a living? Okay, so, right. Ready for that? Right. You ready to go to the try flag tonight? Try what? You just arrest me. You're going to arrest me. I arrested authority. I believe me. I'm a double business owner. My wife.
Brainwashed, yeah. They have no clue what the birth certificate really is about.
That's how it's going to go. You know, so you guys know that child suicide is all $3. The number one killer for kids under
You go after a man or woman, person in person,
They don't build. Because sometimes you stand up. They don't build. You're going on with parents. That's getting. No, we're not paranoid. Listen, focus on this. Well, he knows two of them already. He's still two of them already exist, and then the government's going to enforce this shit. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen, guys. I hate to say it. I appreciate you got to look good for city bylaw. You got to look good for the fucking people running around. But it's people like us running the country, unfortunately, and we're just, the kids are playing today. We're just not going. You got to look 30 minutes left. What happens when you guys come, just don't board it up and lock up? Board it up? You're going to put it up? Oh, well, that's not a story. That's not a story. We'll figure it out that on. People walking down the path, going to be dog park, you know, dog park. So I've been going, yeah, cool, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Why you be part of this? Honestly, guys, you live in the same neighborhood. You have kids. You have kids? Does he have kids? Guys, we have the same boat, man. What did he say? If you guys are safe enough to have vehicle, you guys can play outside the park. You have no. Right now, the next 30 minutes until you have the two guys with masks on, you're not spreading over the mask on and not spreading over the park. Again, you're getting away from the point. All right,
you make a requirement.
Watch it, right?
Ring the chat in this live.
Yeah, we're doing our job. Yeah, I get that. And again, we're expected to enforce this, all right? Well, do you understand? So you've already been here for half an hour. We got 30 minutes left. I told you again, 3 o'clock, you guys can't be cooperative. Yeah, 3 o'clock, and we'll be not the scene. We're not making a scene. We're just peaceful playing. We didn't make a scene.
Demons.
There's problems here. Yeah, that's what we have. Well, that's for emergency. Your children are afraid of police. No, they're not afraid of police at all. So what do you think they're going to ask us? Why the police is here at the park? And your answer, no, I'm not disobeying. I'm a citizen, right? Yeah. The kids are going to say, why the police is at the park? You own your own property. If I own your property, you don't want me there. You have the right to tell me. But that's a private property. That's a private property. It's not property. It's not private property. You can split the hairs however you want. The legit, actual law. We go to daily charges. When we go to court, no. It tries to not be public anymore because of the information right there. You want to make that argument? You go home and actually educate yourself. Oh, yeah, right. You're telling me that I'm the ignorant here. Come on. You can say that. You can say that. It's all good. We'll be gone. Yeah. 30 minutes. Let's do a little round bubble. We'll be back. Yep. You're going to make the rest? Yeah. Don't worry. We're going to call our third to see if he's willing to supply more to come down here. Because what we're having. So we're also people breathing. You may not. For true Canadians, yes. Oh, that's true Canadians. You guys are true Canadians. Okay. Yeah. So, Gabriel, that was, sadly, that was a pretty pathetic video that was recorded there to actually see that we've come to the state. And that's why I think it was truly a gift from God that mankind is actually attacking people. Our fellow man and woman are providing these good faith and duty services. That's what the bylaw officer is supposed to be doing. That's what the police officer in that municipality is supposed to be doing, just as you do. You're supposed to be protecting and serving, and yet we saw an incredible, repugnant action where people are actually attacking people for simply expressing liberty in a public park. Right? It's not like you had music blaring or anything like that. You're simply there with your children enjoying the day. And this is why I think this is the line that's finally drawn on the sand, what has led you to finally step up and say, enough is enough. So do you want to explain, that interaction for you, in short, how that worked out at this park, and then let's talk about, I'm going to bring up on the screen here what transpired of the documentation you finally got over the last 6 months.
Yeah, so that with the parents there, it's just the fact that they knew that I was present with, along with another coworker that was working on our daily the man. We were there as a man, and lawfully in the park that day. Just the fact that we're present actually would be parents, give them confidence, because we are with the people. We're not against the people. Doesn't mean I'm a police officer, that I'm above the law or anything like that. But with currently what is going on, we actually have to step up and be with the people and put our foot down and say, enough is enough of this. This can't go on, because who is the people are suffering the most? It's the people that are most vulnerable, our kids and the elderly people. And this is just keep going on and it's got to stop. We have to step up and be with our community people that are community level and come on with us. What we're trying to do in Christopher, expose and shine the light on what is actually going on. Because COVID actually is bringing all this stuff that we've been under, and actually our consciousness has been completely trapped in all this. So coming up to the service, from the justice system, education, healthcare system, everything involving the service, and through what
before us here today. And I want people to realize, that what happened in that park there today, because of these tentacles of this Crown, this Crown Service Corporation that all goes back to the Queen, the Pope, the Central Bank, they set these governments up in all our countries. This is what people don't understand. And this is what they set up, a corporation. They're de facto, which means they're unlawful. Okay, unlawful because it's your government. We have de facto governments. No different if you take Canada out of the way, you put McDonald's and Burger King there. Would anybody listen to those agents and officers of Burger King or McDonald's were doing from the president? We'll call him Premier, the Premier of McDonald's, right? No one's going to listen to that. We're going to realize that none of their internal service corporation documentations apply to we people unless we're coming to their places of operation, their businesses.
So basically, in a nutshell, this is about the websites at the bottom. A warrior cause, talking about common law. Only a man and woman and effect change. So make them. You see, these are agents of corporations and business and commerce. And don't forget, also, when you're talking these individuals, he's ex-army, the guy on the left, and a public servant. This guy in the chat, Lone Wolf, I know about him. He knows about trust and equity law. Now, people are using Magna Carta, Article 61. The Crown has been, you see, if you go on the common law, good luck. You can try different methods, but trust and equity is where it lays. And you're the agent representative for the estate that the Crown Corporation from the life birth created when the man and woman parents didn't know when signing up with the documents that the life birth is creating with a cursor number, the birth certificate. That's where all these identification numbers come from, which is all online. Well, it used to be paper-based, but everything's online. And that's where the digital ID system, comes in. They want to, the reset and every town in England, every town and city is a corporation, business, commerce, national puppet servants, corporations. I've got the printouts done in Bradstreet, and you can check it out. But you see, when you're unlawfully on a watch list or target individuals, see the people go to this chat, right? Nobody comes in my chat because I am badly hacked. Blocked out. But still they get through the back door. I won't get the software up. I've made a video about it on this channel. What Nappy doesn't mention at all is it's spiritual. It's demonic. Mo is the moderator. He goes in and he's been into mine. Just because I do 2 different channels as a backup sometimes. Modern day witches brew. They are hybrid witches, okay? And all, see, in my, so, people making assumptions about see, this is how bad hacked I am. I can't even click on the link he's put in the chat. And nobody, people will be blocked coming into any chat I do live. I can make a video and upload it, but you see the cursor's controlled. And this is because when you uncover, God bankers, Freemasons, Vatican, this is public knowledge. When you find these websites and you realise that we're all spiritual, and the Jewish, and it goes back in the centuries, I couldn't believe what I found either. But this is nothing about me. It's a bigger picture, the Black Pope, And then I'll get out that one. And I just stumbled across information. And Freemason using the church to carry out its secret plans. The Illuminati. And you just can't make it up. And when I stumbled across information like this, all due respect, a lot of target individuals don't know. They're not aware of a lot. And thank goodness they don't know. So yeah, I'm being hacked. They're just monitoring what I'm doing. So this is where you get the attack. You cut me off just now. Dustin Simpson, hello from North Dakota in the USA. I'm very badly hacked. Dustin, is it Tarson? Hi. Do you know one thing about TI? This is a miracle that I'm showing Nappy Roots, okay, live. And they keep going into my keep hanging to me. So let me just go up and say hello. I've done that. So I was covering earlier a live broadcast on, I usually have a lot of people, but my network in England is really hacked, seriously hacked. Doesn't matter what I do, phone or internet, you know, just completely hacked. So what the subjects I cover, so you can see whole curse controlled. Yeah, so I was just trying to cover Nappy, call me Nappy, talking to the broadcast. He focuses on the problem. I cover a bit of everything. I have 2 channels. So main channel, I do both streams at the same time sometimes. So today was about common law as well as people's law rights, but also the taxes, demonic. You can see he's got a lot of people in. Perhaps he lives in America, perhaps he's got a service provider on his network, and he's me. And he's got the same moderator as me, and Mo knows only too well how I am constantly hacked. So this is where he lives up with Fran. He's a really good man. He is really going for it. Mo's is very spiritual. The reptilian subject, demonic attacks, is real. The documents I've come across are historic. It's unbelievable how hacked I am. With one documents everything. Yeah, so as you can see, Audrey's put a link in the chat, and it's appreciate that. Right, so of the secret public cult Jesuits, the Saints, the constitution of the Jesuits of the century of 1540. These are the kind of subjects I would just happen to come across, and the real controllers of the Vatican of the world, New World Order, is that and the 13 bloodline families in the world. And then you break it all down. And because of that, this is how they have to monitor 24 hours a day. And the ritual is demonic inside. You know, there's a PDF files you can download. And I just come across by this by chance. So yeah, this is what the TI subject, the terminology target individuals, is what the military industrial complex is, and the globalist CIA, England, MI5, MI6, etc., etc. But you need to be extremely careful, and when you download the documents and programs and how the occultists target those with a bloodline in DNA linked back to, in history, to Israelites, Lamanites. My religious upbringing, I studied all that as a young girl. And here we are. Look what's going on, creating the New World Order into Jerusalem, Middle East. Do you know, you can see it all around you, but if nobody has a conscience, it's up to them. Yeah. So, I wish I didn't know after this, you know. I wish I didn't know what I know sometimes. But you see, when you look at the takeover of the world, this earth is of the Satanist, demonic. You look at history of pagan rituals and things like that. And you look at, where's the article I found with Mormons links? I found it the other day. And this is well known. When and you just got to be a member like of a Freemason lodge, that's innocent, you think, right? I used to be married to one, so I know about certain things which I don't hate about. I soon divorced him since I found out something years ago. So when you look how this was established and who was behind it, look at that year 1700s. And when you research the order, you know, the oath of the order, you can't, when you get up to certain level degrees, you got a Knights Templar. It's all connected. This is the kingdom, you know, Satan on Earth, okay, planet Earth. And when you look at the clever Rome, it's all interlinked. And when you look at the I've got other social media platforms with the pattern and technology. Where does the technology come from? You know, in history today. But anyway, this just goes through. I mean, there's quite a lot of that information. The globalist depopulation. But, you know, when members think they're joining and paying their dues and just thought it's connections and business, no, nothing wrong with that, you know. When they realise eventually they're serving the Luciferian agenda. See? And when the advanced brain interface technology, and this is what Nappy doesn't talk about, I do. Others do. So, yeah. So, sharing this broadcast, okay, and yeah, and I sort of started this chat off about really, but also when you're targeted and you're lawfully being demonic, these individuals mean well, don't get me wrong, but they're focused on one subject. At least so, the times we're living in. So let me show you the website. If it comes up, there you go. Okay. So Matt is doing these Zoom live broadcasts. I can't get into it. I can get the page bigger. Trust and equity, but when you it takes a while, you see you've got lots of links you can download and have. So come out with that. Check the broadcast. Okay. And that's our broadcast, showing the documents, talking it through. And it's how you autograph your documents, but he doesn't realise that in trust and equity, maritime law, you need to put your, in England, a stamp on the sheet at the top right hand corner and the left, no, and the right at the back of the paper, and autograph it in blue ink, date it as well, and when you're doing affidavits, we're doing a commercial subject, and because that makes it maritime law, your vessel, you know, a value, and especially when we put an assumption presumptions, A lot of these people like Lone Wolf, he knows about trust actually. I recognise him from years ago. I studied these subjects on that in 2012 plus. I didn't realise 2018 about the target individual subject. So I'll go back to Mo is not. I would recommend go and check out Mo Smith playlist. He knows 100% is spiritual war. Others like him do. Okay, because you got more to. It's not just the 5G. There's nothing compared to the brain interface technology, and it's nothing like the technology they do with the microwave, the neuro technology. Okay, and the cause and the effects on the body. And why do you think they're using brain interface technology? The hive mind. Why do you think if you go on TED Talks, right? They're also doing that's been out years in the pipeline, the neuroscience. They want to link up this consciousness up to supercomputers. There's a gentleman, I haven't seen the stream for a while actually, called Brian Chu, and many others. But because I happened to just stumble across information and connect the dots, then you're just a target. You're just on a watch list and discredited, And then when you link up, like, you witness things firsthand. And, well, unfortunately, not everybody is in that category. They either turn you into the dark occult, the cultists, and you're slave to them. And you sold your soul out. Because the soul catchers. The demonic side is soul catchers. So this earth is on awakening, not just in this subject, but general people are awakening to the demonic takeover of this planet. But this has been not just overnight. This has been centuries in the making and throughout the bloodlines, the 13 family bloodlines throughout DNA. So with the religion I was raised into, organised, my late mum didn't know. It's connected to the occult, the Freemasons, Illuminati do it. So when I left at a young age, of course I'm going to be put on a bloody list of being monitored, because I'm a free thinker. I don't follow the crowd, so to speak. But of course, there's certain things they have to do to you to shut you up. Well, what? I'm not exposing names. I'm not a whistleblower. So this is what goes. And this is why they play you back. I mean, how many times I'm playing this bloody thing back? It's just ridiculous. So anyway, spending more time on this, just showing you the evidence, how they monitor you 24 hours a day. And then they're doing NK Ultra, so I'm going to go into a stream that other than this. And say good night, good day, and powers that be, it's clear, I know. Show it.
You're there as a man. And when we come into this world, as we know, as the creators, we are all created equal under the law. Man and woman are born into this world. The contract makes the law between us, and we went and created government. And government created all this other statutes, but government also created what? The person, the legal person. That's that birth certificate. So now you understand the hierarchy. Either walk this world as the